Michael Ballack getting set to lead Germany. Joachim Löw, perhaps the antithesis to Diego Maradona. One, a stellar player with questionable marks as a manager. Löw on the other side, average to pedestrian, but has turned into quite a coach in charge of this German national team side. Martin Atkinson leading the English crew as Phil Shane sitting alongside Ray Hudson. And Ray, I don't know what more you can say. This temple to football, these two giants in the world of football going head to head. It doesn't get much better than this.
Well, let me start by correcting you one time, Phil, because Diego Maradona was more than a stellar footballer. He was a genius, and he's going to be watching another genius out there in the Albi Celesti. But they're going to be up against a very strong German side. They're going to be up against the likes of Schweinsteiger and Michael Ballack, and this will be an absorbing, interesting game, played with full tilt passion. This is a full locked team sent out by the great Diego, led by Mascherano as captain, and some surprises out there for Argentina. Walter Samuel at the back will be creating the wall in front of Klose and Podolski. This should be an absolutely tremendous ding-dong game. Let's all hope it's all-out attack by Argentina and usual good football by Germany.
Ballack wearing the black, red, and gold captain's armband. Atkinson assisted by Kirkup on the near side, Richardson on the far, and Pearl, the fourth official here today. Lionel Messi went through a bit of a pothole over the last couple of rounds, but came out well for Barcelona, helping them to victory, and it looks as though he is peaking. Meanwhile, some questions for Germany, especially up front, and they brought in some new faces.
You certainly have Podolski and Klose. That's a strange sort of hearing. Klose doesn't play too much for his club team, and Podolski doesn't score too much.
Was it 1,400 minutes? Adler in goal. You can tell it's a big game. He got a new haircut. Boateng, Mertesacker, Tashi, and Lahm the back line. Schweinsteiger joined by his Bayern teammate Müller. Özil, perhaps the best in the league right now, joined up front, as you mentioned, Podolski and Klose. Romero in goal. Otamendi, Demichelis, Samuel, and Heinze. Mascherano, Veron, Jonás, and the María, the youngster who's a target of everyone, it seems. And then one Barca, one Real, and both red hot, Messi and Higuaín. This is going to be interesting, and that might well be the tandem as you take a look at the former Tyne-Sider. Ball knocked free and now played back into some danger, but dribbling his way out of it. Tashi, one of the new faces. But how does Higuaín, how do Messi gel? They play so brilliantly apart from each other, but can they do it together on the same pitch?
Well, they're going to have to prove it to the boss, Phil. You look at the Argentina bench down there, you got likes of Milito and Tevez chomping at the bit, waiting to get in. So let's see if Higuaín and Messi can produce the spark up front for the Albi Celesti. Some wonderful, intriguing little plots, as you said earlier. Klose and Podolski are going to be out there to prove their worth as well. Pleased to see Thomas Müller out there, one of my favourite players, in nice tandem with Schweinsteiger alongside Ballack in the midfield for Germany.
Ball pushed down the line. They have plenty of width. Lahm drops it back. Left-footed blast inside, dummied through. Trying to find Klose, but now a tangle in the midfield.
Ball played into Klose is a very good ball. Klose does well, but we see it again in replay. Look at Samuel, Walter Samuel, coming out and snuffing it out on that earlier effort that led to that free kick from Ballack.
Well, we've talked a bit about the front line of Argentina, but you talk about Samuel in the back. That's somewhat of a reclamation project, and Maradona has said this is not his World Cup squad. Maybe 80% of it is already determined in his mind, but he said there's still plenty of time for guys to step up to the challenge. Of course, bringing back the memory of that legendary '86 showdown, Argentina and Germany. Get to that in a moment. Is nice move on the near side by Di Maria as he brings it across. But Maradona saying there's a big search for some new heroes for Argentina, and he's hoping someone steps out here today.
Another good defensive play there by Martin Demichelis, coming through illegally a little bit, the referee says.
Demichelis should be known and know well his opponents here today, suiting up for Bayern Munich and forcing his way back in the starting lineup. Jonás brought down by Klose. Second foul against the home side.
The one that raised all the eyebrows was Walter Samuel, of course, missed the country's last 3 major tournaments and being called in by Diego.
Well, is that a sign that there is a huge gap in talent there, or is it a talented player deserving a look-see before Diego makes his mind up?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly looked at everybody that's got any sort of great talent in Argentina. Over 100 players looked at by Diego in the qualification process, and it showed with some rather disjointed and, well, let's be honest, poor performances by Argentina. But with that 1-0 final game against Uruguay, they were able to book their ticket to South Africa, and will all be the better for it, in my opinion.
Ball swept across. Of course, Maradona getting into a bit of trouble along the way. Well, really, the only match that he missed was the Barcelona tangle against the Catalan side, but back out there today.
Atkinson calling that one against Veron. So very little in it. Good to see Sebastian Veron out there as well. He's been playing some wonderful football for Estudiantes, of course, leading them to great victory last season and being rewarded with a place in Diego Maradona's man, taking over the orchestral baton from Riquelme.
Well, let's get into that a bit, because basically Maradona, following some conversations from one of your favorite players of all time, basically saying, that's it. If he doesn't want to play anymore, we're not going to be, I guess in Germany, crying in our beer.
Well, they'll have to step up, because the last World Cup they played with Riquelme, they were the best team in the World Cup, in my opinion. They didn't win it, of course, but for my money, they played the best football. And Riquelme was at the heart of it. Now it's passed on to Juan Sebastian Veron, who is capable of absolute brilliance. A wonderful footballer.
Welcome to everyone watching us here on Goal TV. Germany, Argentina. The 100th countdown day has already started, and these two teams, maybe 130 days from now, might be suiting up again to play each other in a World Cup final. Ball flipped on and into the area. A bit of miscommunication as Romero thought about coming out and then changes his mind for some reason.
Ball goes through here, and it's Heinze that gets his head to it. Muller is battling away. The 3 Argentina shirts convene on the area, but Romero couldn't come and claim it because of the Albiceleste shirts in front of him. Could have been a disaster. Good footballer, this kid, let me tell you.
What does he bring? Because he doesn't have the name yet.
Well, he's going to get it. He's got great poise, great vision, great technique, knows for goal. He's got the lot.
When I say he doesn't have the name, let's just say, normally when you think of Müller, the name that goes with it is normally not Thomas when you talk about Germany. Rather your former teammate Gerd, but Thomas, a different style player. One of those players that brings a team together and still has that ability to shake things up himself. Veron switches it out towards the flank. Snapped forward, but well read by Lam.
Another player to keep your eye on for Argentina is Di María, a player that hasn't got a lot of real recognition so far, but wonderful, wonderful footballer. The number 7 in the blue and whites for Benfica, of course.
For how much longer?
Yeah, that's correct, Phil. Everybody wanting to take this kid away.
Well, someone just took him down, and the foul will go against Schweinsteiger. One more retread, some might say. Gabi Heinze out there. Many thought that he'd seen his last in the Albiceleste, but Maradona, in many ways, going with the tried and true here, almost daring them to prove him that they don't deserve to be on the pitch. Messi rolls it out wide. Jonás turns the corner, and the flag comes up as he is tripped, and that's going to be our first card of the match, or at least a talking to from Martin Atkinson.
Great little touch and tremendous pace as always from the Magpie. Big fan favourite at St James's Park. Podolski just reaching in. Jonás just too quick.
Take a look. It's not as though they painted the shirt on, but he is rather big for a wing. But when you see him flying down the left and today the right, you know he can get the job done. 9th minute, free kick Messi. Hold your breath for the next few seconds. Two-man wall. Messi inside near post, and he almost found a man.
Nearly Heinze there, just an eyebrow away from it. And it's Tashi that does the defending in the end. Brilliant ball in by Lionel.
Rolled all the way back by Mascherano.
Heinze is still such a great target man. Wonderful header of the ball.
Ball played back. Here's Tashi. They're going away from Mertesacker, going towards that Lam and Tashi side. Of course, that's also the side with Messi, which probably has more to do with it. Higuaín will pretty much play in the center of the park, leaning towards the left, but Messi will control almost the entire right side of the attack.
There's the player that's going to be responsible for shepherding him all around the park as well. Philipp Lahm playing on that left side here tonight.
Through ball, almost finds Podolski, but no.
Just trying to contain Lionel Messi's threat.
Schweinsteiger steals it, looking for the front run of Klose, passes out wide instead. Müller into the middle, glancing header, and it just sails over Podolski and out. It'll be a throw-in for Argentina.
Ball by Thomas Müller. He was trying to pick out Mehmet Özil, I believe, with that stinger little ball, driving it towards Özil, who was just starting to make a late run to the top of the box, but Argentina just deflecting it away in the end.
Germany doing well in the last World Cup, but some were saying that as the host nation, third is not good enough. Jurgen Klinsmann stepped aside anyway, as Bayern dreams did not work out. Löw taking over for Germany, in many ways strengthening them. Argentina, meanwhile, of course, perhaps the match of the tournament was that showdown against Mexico. Just fell short when it counted. Have these two teams improved enough to fight it out in 2010?
Well,
or is it still Spain and Brazil?
Different side altogether, but I wouldn't bet against Argentina.
Adler flips.
A wonderful team full of great individuals that when they come together, and that's the big question, is Diego Maradona going to run out of time before South Africa starts to gel his starting 11? We've only got 2 or 3 games after this one. Germany, strangely, have been a little bit lackadaisical up front, so that's the area that they really have got to start to come alive.
Heinze leaves it down the line, and a little trip. Down goes Di Maria. Müller on the tackle. Müller on the foul.
Just a little late. It's a good reach-in sliding tackle by Thomas, but again, Di Maria just a little too quick. Nothing malicious there, but he definitely takes Angel's trailing leg there. Wonderful player. Ex-Rosario Central, 22-year-old, along with Messi. And Otamendi, the right back, Nicolás Otamendi, another youngster who all the big clubs are coming knocking for. Real Madrid, very interested. All the top Italian clubs want to take Nicolás Otamendi away.
Ball launched in, looking for Heinze, just sails over the head of Jonás. And out to the midfield, cutting it off again, as he does so often, in Javier Mascherano. Mascherano, so much talent, but he is a bulldog, and that's what they use him for.
Well, he does cover the ground, playing wonderfully well for Liverpool, but really, that's the man on the ball. It just knocked it off there. It's Veron who's going to be charged with really picking the locks of all of the opponents into the World Cup. In the same way as Riquelme did This guy is absolutely capable of it. He's 34-year-old now. The Estudiant is genius.
But getting stronger.
He's absolutely wonderful footballer. Look at that pass.
Straight to Messi. Anyways, he said he was too young
in
his last.
Brilliant.
Through ball for Di Maria on his left. Chips it through, but misses the target, and the flag had come up anyway.
Fabulous football by Argentina, this, and it was started by that genius ball, as I was saying, from Veron. Stabs it out wide, then there's a lovely little ball played in here to Higuaín. He touches it on first time to Di Maria. He's barely a half a step offside, if that. Wonderful football from the Albiceleste, though.
Give credit to Adler. He would have made it difficult even if the flag had stayed down.
Definitely. Rennie Adler coming in and really staking his claim in front of good goalkeepers like Neuer and Tim Weiser.
Well, knocked free, of course.
Just wonderful rapier football. Going back to that chance again, man. It was this man on the ball that started it way deep, and it didn't look as if it was going to lead to anything, but 2 or 3 passes and wonderful little ball from Higuaín.
Out comes Romero, getting there just in time. He's going to say...
You think he was offside?
No. Toe-to-toe or toe-to-heel should have counted.
Yeah, it was very, very close. The great one.
I was going to say Adler, the #1, in many ways, without question. You talk about Neuer, who probably will get his chances before he hangs up the gloves. Visa, who's kind of that trapped generation, but the man, as Maradona draws a few whistles,
he miscontrolled it.
Many still remembering that, well, here they would probably call it a dive in that World Cup final when it was basically Maradona against Germany. And they almost won the championship that way.
Ooh.
Little slip and almost a giveaway in the back.
What a time to get the hiccups there. Demichelis. Oh, it's a great tackle. Look at that control. Look out.
Keeping it tight. Higuaín trying to get to his left. He had help.
He had help for sure, Phil. Certainly Messi and Di Maria begging for the ball from Gonzalo there. Maybe should have just played it off. They had good numbers. Poor selection there by Higuaín.
Touched free for Klose, knocked aside for the throw.
Usually so good at that, is picking out his supporting players.
Look at Klose. Basically, as soon as the ball went out, he kept sprinting to try and get the advantage on the throw in, but covered well by, as you mentioned, Otamendi.
Good look at him. Nicolás.
Maradona, one of the first to spot his potential.
Well, that fella Sarsfield's such a good side, isn't it? But he has been one of the big components of it.
Corner coming up for Germany. This is one of the reasons I think Samuel and Heinze and Demichelis have all been called back. Germany's so good in the air, and those 3 defenders might be the best that Argentina has in the air. Half hour left to go here in half #1. No score, a controversial offside stymieing Argentina. Ball from Schweinsteiger into the middle. Veron will clear. Messi coming back. Messi with the sombrero, and he almost runs it through. And Boateng, the off-balance clearance for a throw.
Well played by Otzel to contain Lionel there. So deceptive, isn't he? And balls are bobbing about. Lionel Messi's so agile, and you get that little flick and then leave you for dead.
Boateng, another one of those huge faces, and new faces. So much talent for the German right back. Ghanaian German. You see a lot of that. Klose, of course, with the Polish roots. Otzel with the Turkish. Boateng, Ghanaian. It's not just the United States that's turned into a melting pot. Otamendi looking for an opening. Close to a foul throw. And the ball switched to the near side, but between the 2 defenders. Heinze comes over, pressured by Muller in a little shake and bake. And then knocked free. Veron back to Mascherano. Caresses it out. And now with numbers on that flank, Messi and Di Maria. Messi takes the inside pass. Through ball, but cleared by Boateng. Mascherano cuts it off. Otamendi.
So tremendous with those sorts of runs, isn't he, Messi? It's not running with his head down, looking at the ball, always with those googly eyes, looking up for that dagger ball to find his teammate.
Ball back for Romero.
And if you don't contain his teammates, he'll strip you apart himself, so he'll do you either way. With a good ball.
Germany's men's national team not the only ones playing today. They're women. The Algarve Cup final against the US, but somehow that seems to have diminished a bit in importance with these two going head to head. Heinze with a little soft flick on for Veron. 34? That's what the birth certificate says.
Yeah. I was
Heinze
reading about Juan Sebastian Veron before the game, and growing up as a child, his dream was to play for, get this, Sheffield United. And figure that one out. I think it was his uncle that was playing for Sheffield United at the time, but Veron actually went on to play for the great Manchester United.
You think the Blades would take him now? Maybe in 10 years they could still probably use him.
Amazing.
Down into the corner, Germany and Muller finding it hard to get something going. You talked about a lackadaisical approach for Germany through qualifying, but having a hard time getting anything going here today against Argentina.
Well, as I say up front, they have been a little bit lackadaisical by even the German standards. It's Kiesling and Kakao that's especially been hitting form lately, and I was surprised not to see Kakao, the Brazilian-born German,
well, see, he
coming into this game.
He only scored 9 goals this week.
Yeah, amazing. That's the type of player, wouldn't you think you'd want to give a real big nod of the head to in a game like this? Oh, he's in.
Messi through the middle, upended by Tashi. I don't know if it's so much of a foul or he just couldn't keep up with Messi's moves.
Tremendous textbook Messi driving at Tashi, and he just lunges in here. The ball's gone before you know it. Lionel playing it to the left, and there just on the outside you see it was Di Maria on the right that Lionel didn't see arriving late. That was the one I thought he was going to dish it off to. It's a good distance away, this maybe Veron distance though.
Messi has the ability, but Veron still has the leg. A few years back, Heinze might have had a go. Now, is this a decoy? They're screaming about the wall not being 10 yards away. Messi into the wall. Rebound, second try, Messi cleared away. Demichelis launching it long and off target and out for the goal kick.
No such real problems for Diego Maradona, as I said, up front. And you've got the way Tevez has been playing lately for Manchester City, has been absolutely marvellous and on fire. And of course, Milito as well for Inter Milan has been in tremendous form. A wealth of riches for Maradona to pick from heading into the World Cup. But can he get the right chemistry amongst the 11?
Michael Ballack, many were questioning whether he would be back on this national team for the next World Cup. Many were questioning whether he'd be on the pitch for Chelsea, but I think he's squashed all of those concerns this year.
And his coach coming out here today, the national team coach, Love, saying he's absolutely integral part of this team.
Ball for Lam. We saw him start the World Cup last time out with a shot like that.
Very similar. You're right, Phil. That cut in and that bender to the back post. Virtually identical. You're absolutely right. And you can see there on the inside it was closer that wanted the ball fed into him rather than Philip's hit. Good to see Philip Lam joining in.
Midway point of half number 1. Can't even really say this one's settled a bit. Both teams still seem like they maybe had just a bit too much coffee before the match started. Can they keep it up for 90 minutes? In many ways they have to. This is the final audition. And if you think you might be on the bubble, this is your last chance to prove you deserve to go.
That's certainly a meaningful exhibition, friendly, whatever you want to call it. But looking at these benches as well, Phil, you would think that both coaches are going to make a lot of good changes in the second half. We've got plenty of thoroughbreds to pick up.
Roll out wide. Demichelis tries to blast it up the line. Take a look at the benches. And Argentina didn't come as loaded as Germany, obviously the home team, but with Tevez, with Agüero, who is playing outstanding with Diego Forlán at Atletico. We talked about Milito. Datolo as well. And then on the German side, Sami Khedira, his role might have changed a bit. Di Maria challenging Mertesacker, and he pulls out those huge legs to hook it away. Kiesling is on the bench, along with Tarkowski, who played well this past weekend against his hometown team. Hitzelsberger, Gomez coming into his own, and one of your favorites, Marco Marin, if they try and get something going on the flanks.
For Maradona, particularly European-based team, only 2 or 3 of the Argentina squad have made the long trip over from the continent of South America.
A little tangle. Back comes Podolski to help out. Get on that in a moment. It's close. It tucks it down. The ball whipped across, and there, the easy grab by Romero. Can you explain Lucas Podolski? Plays outstanding before he goes to Munich, then starts to sputter a bit. They figure by moving him out of Bayern, he'd redevelop his form. And it's not that he's playing poorly, he's just not scoring at all.
Now, I've called it the goal scorer's groove, Phil, and once you lose that groove, very difficult to pick it. Once you do get it back, you cannot stop scoring. Strange, but Podolski, as you say, has been playing very well for the Billy Goats of Stuttgart, but just not hitting the net. Got to start to really find that vein of form. There's no other option for goal scorers. It's what they're there for. Podolski's a pure goal scorer.
25th minute, 20 minutes left to go. Muller just losing the plot a bit on that last one.
Billy Goats of Köln, excuse me, Stuttgart. Apologies.
It's all goats everywhere. Romero now plying his trade at Asset Alkmaar. Normally wouldn't see Argentines go to Holland, but it goes to show
certainly
the further development of Argentina and Holland.
Tremendous performances Romero's been putting in for the Dutch champions under Van Gaal that year. Wonderful goalkeeper.
Came up from Racing, Independiente's arch rival. Didn't really play much there, and that's what you're starting to see a bit. Maybe not to the Messi style, where he gets plucked away at the age of 14 or 15, but so many of these Argentines leaving before they've really had even a first full season. On the near side, here's Mesut Ozil. Many were saying that he was the best player in the Bundesliga the first half of the championship, but he still is waiting to blossom on the national team side. Love's given him the reins today.
Nicolás all over his teammate, Bosa. Club teammate. Again, well-timed tackle that.
Jonás almost getting in the way as Demichelis brought through the scythe. Here's Schweinsteiger. Along with Lahm back on that left side. Worked so well in 06. And then the lunge knocks it aside from Gutiérrez. Ozil, the soft tap. Lahm to the middle. Balach under pressure, and it's Veron who knocks it free. Oh. There's a hook as Messi was ready to pop it into fifth, and the card will come out from Atkinson this time.
Well, He's done well to keep the yellow card in his pocket for so long, and no complaints from Bastian this time. But as always, it's difficult to blame the offender because Messi is just so quicksilver, and a player like you see right there, Schweinsteiger really thinks he can reach in and took the ball away, but Messi just incredibly quick. See it week in, week out. When he plays for Barcelona, players feel as if they can get a piece of the ball, but then Lionel just touch it teasingly past them and take the foul.
Ball knocked free. Germany will recover. They've stymied the Argentine attack in the midfield over the past few minutes, but still unable to get anything going themselves. The tuck by Ballack. Muller didn't sense Mascherano until too late, but out for the throw-in. Little touch back to Boateng. He can serve it. Near post. Romero called off his defender, and that was dangerous.
No, this is wonderful defending by Argentina, Phil. There's nothing dangerous about it. It's beautiful calling off of Sergio Romero. Closer was coming in, but you see it again. Demichelis had it covered. I think it was Demichelis, might have been Heinze, but wonderful goalkeeping that. And the trust that the players are putting in the young goalkeeper in between the sticks, that's good to see.
Oh, that is huge. One of the things we talked about 4 years ago, that despite all of his accolades, despite all of his club trophies, and even most of the time solid play at Getafe and the like, Diego Bonancieri was always going to be viewed as the weak link in the chain.
Well, Bonancieri had a great World Cup though, Phil. Don't forget that. He was tremendous in Germany for his national team. But this kid in goal now, different breed from Bonancieri, isn't he? Looks more lithe and certainly more, a lot of reflexes about him, certainly.
Well, we haven't seen him beg for the sideline with bruised ribs yet. Oh. Now a breakaway and the hard tackle. It looks like that's going to be perhaps a yellow against Demichelis.
Closer this time, gets released beautifully, and Demichelis comes in, slides, misses the ball completely. Little touch by him from Mehmet Özil, excuse me. A little touch, and the big man from Bayern knows right away what's coming his way. Lovely touch by Özil. Another sprightly footballer. The Werder Bremen kid.
Launched in on the restart. Oh, what hands! Romero, it looked like he might have leapt too soon, but he just hung in the air. Of course, I guess that ability kind of runs in this family. His brother Diego, former FSU basketball star, now plying his trade at Gimnasia in Argentina, and it looks like Sergio might be able to follow up if this football thing doesn't work out.
What was more impressive than anything was that he comes in a whole pile of traffic, Romero, to claim that ball. That's pretty impressive.
Soft touch back, Veron. Much of the play has gone down the flanks, not through the spine and Veron of late. And maybe that's one reason Argentina has not been able to get anything up front. But just look at that almost circle, that gauntlet of black shirts around the center of the park. Ball in for Jonás. They're switching things up. Gutiérrez now finds Veron about 35 yards out. Get it, give it. Now Messi, who's dropped back. Off for Mascherano, back for Veron, but he left it out there and it's tackled away. Less than a quarter hour to go in the opening half.
Germany having to drop back in numbers and in rank. There's so many guns of Argentina to try to keep quiet. But Gutiérrez on the right there with Messi with those wonderful runs, of course, and Veron's passing ability to open up. And the runs of Higuaín still to come out of the long grass. Look
Lifted forward by Gutiérrez. It just skips up, but Messi brings it under control. Veron's open, top of the box. Weak pass from Messi, picked off by Ballack. Here's Özil. Tackled away. Messi looks a little out of his depth. Jonás. And Higuaín wasn't quite ready.
Great lunging tackle from Mascherano to win it back.
If you didn't recognize the arena, this match has the feel of a World Cup match. The players not backing down an inch.
Both coaches coming out and saying this is a give a good indication of where we stand, good and bad. Germany have 3 more international exhibition games, friendly games against Malta, Hungary and Bosnia-Herzegovina before the big dance. But this is the one that they've red-lettered to see what they can match up against, knowing that the talent individually in the blue and white shirts is as good as they will come up against in South Africa.
Don't forget Italy taking on Cameroon. We'll have that match immediately following this one. Ball taken away, and whether he meant to or not, Samuel is going to go in the books as it was mishandled, and he just stopped the attack like a brick wall. Now both center backs carrying cards.
He just misses the ball. Walter takes out closer. I think that would have been given had he got to the ball, but he just completely missed it.
Argentina, of course, saying they're going to be touring the United States, but after the World Cup. Schweinsteiger from long range, and that one didn't drop, and it wasn't met. No problem for Sergio Romero. They were going to play Canada for an anniversary match, but that coming just too close to the start of the Cup, so Maradona begging off. They might be able to take on the Maple Leafs again a bit later. Ball headed up by Mascherano. Down goes Veron in a collision with Balak. Argentina grouped with Nigeria, South Korea, and Greece. Might not have been awarded the naming of the group of death, but I guarantee you none of those teams think they got lucky with the draw.
This game taking place in front of us here today, Phil, is a rescheduled game between these two countries because the first one was postponed after the sad death of Robert Enke.
Adler taking over the starting spot. He might have had it anyway, but what a tragedy with Enke suffering from depression. And it's good that Argentina was willing to reschedule. In many ways put their pride on the line. 9 minutes left in regulation. Ball skips away from Schweinsteiger. The step up by Veron didn't get the ball, but it does force the turnover.
Well, they really haven't had much in terms of creativity from either Schweini or Balak so far. The Germans, it's been down to the likes of Özil, Thomas Muller earlier on. They need to provide with Podolski and closer threatening. They need to be a little bit more creative from the midfield, Germany.
Boateng just a bit too high. Germany is grouped with Australia, Serbia, and Ghana. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I think Ghana might be one of the dark horses in this tournament, but I've only been saying that for the past few cups. Serbia obviously has the talent, but can they put it all together? And Australia, in many ways, they did well in the last World Cup, but I wouldn't say that Germany is pleased they didn't get Argentina's group. They probably are. Jonás with a little trip behind against Podolski again, and a restart for Argentina. First half nearing a close. What do you think Love and Maradona have seen so far?
I think Diego Maradona, like a lot of what he's seen in a lot of flashing, inspirational football just like this.
Di Maria
He's
cuts
in.
right, cuts left, and rattles it off the crossbar. He just abused the back line of the Mannschaft, but he couldn't beat the pipe.
Brilliant by Angel here. And as I was saying, Diego Maradona's got to like a lot of what he's seen from that wonderful invention out of nothing from the midfield. Angel Di Maria's played in here beautifully. Lead-up football was from the back, and it falls to him eventually, and it's his brilliant skill and that wonderful rifle of a left foot that absolutely beats René Adler. All ends up, but it doesn't beat the white skinny guy. Unlucky, Argentina.
First he abused Tashi. Boateng came over and he got cut the other way.
Tackle.
Podolski denied. Out for the throw-in.
Again, it's not just the final hit of Di Maria. It's to be expected from a player of that caliber, the Benfica kid. But the 3 or 4 passes leading up to that, we've seen that on 2 or 3 occasions from Argentina, led more often than not by Veron, but there's still plenty of other footballers willing to provide that first domino to fall for Argentina. I think really that's what Maradona like, and it's a balanced setup. Phil, see Mascherano playing so well behind Di Maria and Veron. Lively play by Gutiérrez. There is fucking love. I think he'll want a little bit more out of the Mannschaft here. You've got to start to really come out and thrill this crowd a little bit more. That should have been called, surely.
Now a chance on the other side as Klose has it touched away. His former teammate. Now rival on this day. Brilliant.
Wonderful football. What a good save. We didn't give Adler any credit, and he deserves it, because that one would have been in the back of the net. Absolute certain goal. Denied by the Bayer Leverkusen man, René Adler. That fingertip save from that angle is clearly seen that that was a beautiful little touch and needed to keep the scoreline down.
Now Di Maria will try and play provider. Soft touch by Veron. Just hasn't been able to link up with Higuaín today.
I think Di Maria Higuaín wanted that ball directly from Di Maria rather than going via Seb Veron. He was in, and that's where he likes to be. Threaded the ball. Higuaín's used to getting that sort of service from like said Kaká and Cristiano Ronaldo. Really hasn't had much of a game in the first half, has he? Higuaín been a little quiet, but again reliant on better service. But again, such a variety about the way Argentina play. They don't just go route one. They're not predicated around one single route to goal. Such a wonderful variety about them, always has been.
Argentina trying to squeeze through the back line. Soft touch, and again they go towards Tashi. I'm thinking that might be one switch that Love makes at the half. Serdar Tashi has had some difficulty here today. Arne Friedrich is available on the bench. He can play both on the right or in the middle. 30-year-old veteran utility man. Well, we saw Super Mario loosening up. Mario Gomez might get the chance to come in, perhaps as he's done for Bayern, replacing Klose in the lineup.
Well, as I said earlier as well, Kaká, the Brazilian, will certainly be itching to get in against Argentina.
A bump from behind. It looked like it should be a penalty, but dodging a bullet, Otamendi. Maybe the ball was just too high, and they said he couldn't get to it.
Making the most of it a little bit, though, isn't he, against Otamendi?
Well, let me ask you
a little
this.
touch, but going down a little bit too easily. Closer.
Refereeing philosophy, if the ball's on the other side of the pitch and Otamendi pushes closer down in the midfield. Is it a foul?
Yeah, it would be, but I don't believe that he pushed him, Phil. I think he basically touched him. The referee saw that Klose was trying to make a big dog's dinner of it.
There, Higuaín letting his dogs hunt. Another foul against Argentina. Not a lot of them in this first half. Less than 10 apiece by my count. And again, they're going after Tashi. I almost wonder if will make the switch or let Tashi learn in a match where it doesn't matter.
Wonderful defending by Argentina in several instances here tonight, right across the back. And that's a good sign for Diego Maradona to see the likes of Demichelis, Samuel and Heinze all timing their tackles to perfection. Otamendi looks like a beauty at the back. Very, very composed.
Plus the other thing you can see, he's still holding it in check just a bit. The more comfortable he gets, I think the better he's going to get at this level. Here's Veron.
Lovely ball.
Threads it. Can he get there? The youngster does. Otamendi with the cross, not enough bend on it. And now cleared away by Germany to midfield. Klose tries to flip it out wide.
Did well.
Otso. Here's the foul on Özil, but it was Klose who was hit while making the pass. He's up and okay, realizing he might just have a few more seconds left for his performance here today if Gomez does come in. Boateng. The Hamburg back off for Balach. There's Lahm, maybe one last push by the Mannschaft. Lahm cuts in, passes out. Podolski back for Lahm. Soft chip into the middle. And that one was a little late call from Romero, and Samuel just gets it out of danger.
Yep.
Off to the races and onside. Adler misses it. Higuaín doesn't. Goal for Argentina on the rapid counter as Adler gambled and came up snake eyes.
There's a wonderful cut and thrust that I was talking about that would please Maradona and Santi Albi Celesti fans nuts. This is a wonderful, wonderful ball to find Gonzalo. He's got it all to do to touch it past Rennie Adler, who had to leave his lane. Advances right out. Beautiful ball over the top. There's a diamond little touch. And he slots it in. Millimeter perfect. Wonderful. Sees Adler coming. Touch. He says, I've done you like a little lollipop here. Rennie, I think it was Di Maria that maybe slotted the ball through. We'll take a look again. But it was a considerate ball, but brilliant by the Los Blancos hero. He scores goals for fun, Phil. There's nothing hype about this kid. Gonzalo just keeps on scoring and keeps on racking it up. Talked about earlier, a player in that goal scorer's groove. Don't underestimate it, people. We see it lacking in the likes of Klose and Podolski. But in Higuaín, he's just scoring goals in his sleep.
So 1-0 the score as we approach the half. Germany had just been starting to turn the pressure on the other direction. And it was with a lightning quick counter. Higuaín around Adler to give Argentina the lead.
Well, a few whistles getting rained down for the Germany team. And you can see why. Been a little lackluster in midfield and non-existent up front. Argentina looking the business.
¿Es tu seguro exagerado? En Farmers, nuestros agentes han pasado por un entrenamiento exclusivo. Ellos te explican la variedad de coberturas y descuentos para que puedas elegir el que mejor se adapte a ti. 1-800 Farmers. Llama ya.
Hoy día otras camionetas le dan la vuelta, tuercen y exageran la realidad. Reclaman ser las mejores en esto, superiores en aquello, tener más de lo otro, bla, bla, bla. Digan lo que quieran, pero esto es lo más importante de todo. Por 33 años seguidos, más personas han puesto su confianza en las camionetas Ford F-Series que en ninguna otra camioneta. Ford F-150, Ford Super Duty, las camionetas más vendidas por 33 años.
Sé parte de un equipo de primera sin firmar un contrato anual. Haz como tantos y únete a GoPhone de AT&T. Con GoPhone hablas y texteas todo lo que quieras en todo el país por $60 al mes.
Además, puedes enviar ilimitadamente mensajes de texto a México sin costo adicional. Todo en la red en la que puedes confiar.
Con GoPhone de AT&T hablas y texteas con confianza y sin contrato anual. ¡Cámbiate de equipo!
¡Claro!
¡Únete a los ganadores! AT&T. Fútbol a tu alcance.
You never know quite what to expect when a player takes the field for the first time with a new club, even when that player is a 36-year-old veteran of 3 World Cups. In this case, it's Roberto Carlos making his highly anticipated return to Brazilian soccer after a 15-year-long European adventure that saw him play for Inter, Real Madrid, and Fenerbahce. Corinthians takes control of the match 6 minutes in, and things are going swimmingly. Roberto Carlos celebrating with his teammates, but that celebration cut short just minutes later as his debut is cut short. An ill-advised and dangerous sliding tackle on Joãozinho leaves the referee no choice but to show the red card. Roberto Carlos has a hard time swallowing the straight red, but he has no argument. Corinthians teammate and fellow World Cup champion Ronaldo is not impressed, and Marcos, their 0-2 World Cup teammate, intervenes. Corinthians held on to snap a 3-year winless streak against rivals Palmeiras, but no thanks to Roberto Carlos, whose debut was less than 10 minutes long.
Today, Italy versus Cameroon, 4:45 p.m. Eastern, 1:45 Pacific, on Goal TV.
You are watching Goal Premium International FIFA Day.
Our first goal of the match, and will that open the floodgates? Argentina, seconds before the whistle, sending them to the dressing rooms with the 1-0 lead. We'll show you the details. We'll analyze it just a bit more in a few moments. But first, a reminder, you've got plenty of action coming your way. Another world-class showdown as Italy getting set to take on Cameroon. And we've got that right after this one. Germany 0, Argentina 1 at the half.
Now is the best time ever to get Vonage. Just $14.99 a month gets you unlimited local, long distance, and international calling to over 60 countries. Plus, you get consistently clear call quality and great features like readable voicemail and simul-ring. When you add it all up, nothing else stacks up. To make sure you get the very best offer, go to Vonage.com now or call 1-877-4Vonage. But don't wait. Offer ends soon.
¿Todavía usas desechables? Sí, ¿por qué? Si no conoces Gillette Fusion, te doy 5 razones para que te cambies. 1. 5 navajas trabajan mejor que 2. 2. Es la mejor rasurada Gillette y la más al ras. 3. Tiene un retocador de precisión para puntos difíciles. 4. Un solo cartucho Fusion dura hasta 3 semanas. Más que una Gillette desechable. Y 5. Que lo pude probar gratis. Llamé a Gillette y me enviaron un rastrillo Fusion. Aquí está el número para que pidan el suyo.
Llámanos sin costo al 1-888-PRUEBA1 o textea la palabra prueba al 467-467 y te enviaremos una Gillette Fusion totalmente gratis.
Por donde lo vean, Fusion es la mejor rasurada Gillette. ¿Para qué quedarse con una Gillette desechable?
Llámanos o textea sin costo y te enviaremos una Gillette Fusion totalmente gratis. O cómpralo tú mismo y si no quedas satisfecho, te devolvemos tu dinero. Siente la mejor rasurada Gillette.
It happens in the schoolyards, the parks, and the world's top leagues. Players lose their heads, referees lose control, and games turn ugly. Villarreal and Athletic Bilbao had a tense handful of minutes, sparked by Diego Lopez saving a penalty from Iraola, a dash of pent-up frustration, and things get chippy. An aerial collision between Javi Martinez and Diego Godin sets off a scuffle, both sent off for an early shower, but match referee Klaus Gomez has already lost all control of the match. Bilbao coach Joaquin Caparrós gets into it with Godin, and he'll watch the final minutes on a monitor. But despite the trio of red cards, tempers are still flaring, especially on the losing side. Pablo Orvaiz has a momentary lapse in judgment, and that's going to draw a straight red from the hapless referee, who's left with no option but to start ejecting players. Villarreal takes the 3 points, but 4 red cards in the span of 7 minutes shows that even in La Liga, football turns to chaos when players lose their heads.
You are watching Goal Premium International FIFA Date.
Will they add a 4th star before Argentina adds another? Well, we'll find out, but what a showdown this has been. And Ray, it wets the whistle for the summer.
Well, it certainly does wet my whistle for the second half. Been a good, balanced sort of game. Certainly Argentina had the upper hand. We're looking more edge about them. Certainly more dangerous. Germany got a bit to do coming out of the locker room for this second half.
Desarrolle músculo, pierda peso, luzca mejor, siéntase más joven. Ha sido la promesa de Bowflex por más de 20 años, con más de 1.5 millones de dueños de Bowflex. Y para celebrarlo, estamos ofreciendo gimnasios caseros Bowflex por solo $10 al mes. Solo $10. 20 minutos 3 veces a la semana bastan para lograr el cuerpo delgado, esculpido y sexy que siempre quiso. Garantizamos resultados dramáticos en solo 6 semanas o le devolvemos su dinero. Solo Bowflex tiene tecnología Power Rod, el secreto para abdominales como roca, un tórax más ancho y poderosos bíceps rápido. Con hasta 410 libras de resistencia y 95 ejercicios, Bowflex garantiza resultados visibles en tan poco tiempo como 20 minutos 3 veces a la semana. Y tiene la garantía de Bowflex. Verá resultados en solo 6 semanas o le devolvemos su dinero. Llame o visite ahora getabowflex.com para obtener su DVD gratis y vea cómo puede conseguir un gimnasio casero Bowflex por tan poco como $10 al mes.
If international calling weren't so expensive, who would you call?
My niece in Lima. She's a great cook.
I called my little brother in Mexico. I taught him how to make a penalty kick.
My best friend in Argentina. She's getting married soon.
With Penny Talk, the money-saving calling service from IDT, rates are as low as 2 cents a minute to over 200 countries around the world. Penny Talk works with the phone service you already have from any phone, even your cell phone. With Penny Talk from IDT, international calls to family and friends cost as little as 2 cents a minute. There's just a low 49-cent connection fee per call. Don't wait. Visit pennytalk.com or call this number today. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Now any reason is a good reason to call overseas.
Hola, I tried your recipe. The ceviche tasted almost as good as yours.
You like the soccer shoes that I sent you, bro?
I found the perfect dress.
Start saving today. Call 800-579-0401 or visit pennytalk.com. Call the world. Call now.
La Liga 360. Sunday, the world's biggest soccer stars shine on La Liga 360. The best weekend recap of Spain's top flight is on Goal TV. La Liga 360, Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on Goal TV.
You are watching Goal Premium International FIFA Date.
Bathed in white, but it was the sky blue and white with the brilliant finish. The halftime report continues. Allianz Arena, the center of the footballing universe at the moment, is Germany dueling with Argentina. And here's the highlights.
Well, it'd be better integrated throughout for me. Argentina, lovely setup by Higuaín and Messi, just catching them offside. Perhaps it's debatable, isn't it, people? I thought that one was on in live action, but the stupid English linesman gets it all wrong.
I thought it was the Russian linesman.
No, he's English, all right. And then certainly Germany started to come back in, but it'd be Philipp Lahm as much as anybody creating danger when he started to leave his defensive positions. Veron starts this one beautifully for Di Maria, and that's a fabulous save. It doesn't look like it, but that is a wonderful save by René Adler. Just pushes it onto the crossbar, just does enough. Brilliant stop, denying the impressive Angel Di Maria. And here's your go-ahead goal, people. This wonderful, wonderful footballer, Gonzalo Higuaín. Take a look at it again. The supply from Di Maria is absolutely superb. He's blessed with a secondary vision. Look at that pass, leading him. He's like a cheetah with his speed, and he's got lynx-like eyes. Gonzalo Higuaín tops off a good performance in the first half for the great one, who is absolutely chuffed about the way his Albiceleste are playing, and he's quieting those critics now.
1-2 in shots on goal, 1-4 in total chances. One offside against the Argentines, which probably shouldn't have been, but Adler would have denied that anyway. And a question on the goal we'll get to in the second half. Is Adler at blame for that goal in any way? Not to take away the sheer brilliance of Di Maria and Higuaín. There will be changes in the second half, but will there be a goal for the hosts?
There is a school like no other school in the world. Avionics in the morning, training in the afternoon, computer programming in the evening, and along the way, Leadership 101. And on the day that your studies here draw to an end, and the commander looks you in the eye and salutes you, it will be with the knowledge that he is only the first of many who will do so. There's strong, and there's Army strong. To see strength like no other, go to goarmy.com.
Ella tardó horas y horas en diseñar la comunidad de sus sueños. Tú podrás ayudar a hacerla realidad en unos 10 minutos. Contestando 10 simples preguntas para el censo ayudarás a que tu comunidad reciba los fondos y beneficios que necesita. Y tranquilo, la ley federal protege tus respuestas. Para progresar, lo tenemos que enviar. Censo del 2010 de los Estados Unidos.
Today, Italy versus Cameroon, 4:45 p.m. Eastern, 1:45 Pacific, on Goal TV. Goal TV News, from Monday to Friday, the latest soccer news. Stay up to the minute with all the information from the world of soccer, right here on Goal TV News, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on Goal TV.
You are watching Goal Premium International FIFA Date.
Oh, tell me that's not an imposing sight coming out of the tunnel of this architectural marvel. But Argentina has been more than a match from the way that the architect in a Frank Lloyd Wright style, Diego Maradona, has put his Argentina side out. Let's take another look at that goal. And here's how things kind of started.
Wonderful considerate header to dish it off to Di Maria, but look at that ball. It's not just over the top, it's in the path, knowing that that wonderful speed is going to get there.
Now, take a look at the way, if you remember, René Adler attacks this ball. He comes out too straight on, too small of a target. He's afraid of getting a red card. He's not comfortable with his left foot, and he pays the price.
It's a very good point, my friend. Did he leave his lane way too early? He had Mertesacker tracking him down. But basically by coming, Rene Adler makes Gonzalo's mind up. Whereas had he stayed a little bit further back, he would have asked the question of Gonzalo Higuaín on a one-on-one situation. He didn't do that. He committed himself very early, bravely, but perhaps foolishly.
Sometimes there's a very thin line between the two.
It certainly is, Phil. He was a whisker away from getting the ball, and that would have been a great save. He gambled, he lost.
And almost hate to bring it up, but that's probably not a play that Enke would have made, and maybe not one that Neuer on the bench would make. But Rene Adler lived by the sword, died by the sword. He forced some miscues in the first half by being aggressive, but he pays the price at the final whistle of half number 1. So the change, we'll see Klose out, Gomez in. And it looks as though the rest of the lineup will be the same. Martin Atkinson is set for half number 2, and there's a beautiful look at the ball that will cause nightmares for goalkeepers around the world. You saw those little raises. We've seen dimples in balls before, but now those little raised lines supposed to guide the ball even more directly and accurately. A mishit on the clearance, and out it goes. It was off of Samuel, sending a message to Zinedine Zidane, maybe. You heard about Zidane this past week. We'll get to that in a moment, as Özil getting set to launch this one in. But first, some work inside the box by Atkinson. And it looks like a player is down. You almost wonder if that's Samuel.
Yep.
It's not, it's Heinze. But Zidane coming up this past week and saying that he apologized to all of his teammates as they came into the dressing room after the last World Cup final, but that he would rather die before apologizing to Marco Materazzi. Which kind of gives you an idea of how hot under the collar he was with the World Cup on the line. And in many ways, it was that miscue that cost France the World Cup. They just couldn't keep up. So now a switch perhaps, as he will come out. Why risk it? So Andújar will be a different look. Maradona. Got a solid performance out of the veteran in the first half. And why will he? That is Clemente Rodriguez coming in. Clemente, former Boca man, now a teammate with Veron over to Estudiantes. Off the corner, second of the match for Germany. Launched clear by Veron. Lam, the safety valve, right into the face. He gets knocked aside. Di Maria with a little smile. Maybe not as boisterous in his play as Messi, but he has fun with the ball, and the ball seems to love him.
Well, his 8th cap, Di Maria, for Argentina. There's still a lot more to come out of him. A 22-year-old. We saw that advertised with the architecture from that first goal pass.
Ball whipped onto the near side.
Better by Germany.
Jonás giving chase. Lam trying to get there, and then sticks the wrench and the spokes. Down
Typically
goes
brave
Gutiérrez.
by Jonás Gutiérrez, always reaching across the player, willing to take the whack as he does here. And the always dangerous Philip Lam. do produce some beautiful uniforms, the Germans. I'll give them that all day long. Wonderful strip.
For the Argentines, still something classic about those blue and white stripes.
Well, you're right, Phil. That's good sportsmanship by Germany, not wearing their usual first team kit, the white shirts, allowing the German fans to see the Albiceleste colours. I like that.
Chested forward off the S in Veron's jersey. Mascherano, slight deflection, and out it goes. It should be the other way, but Atkinson and his linesman not noticing it. Hitzelsberger amused by something in the background. Sami Khedira eagerly awaiting his turn on the pitch. By the way, something we haven't mentioned, and Argentina handling it well, it's 34 degrees. Most refrigerators don't even go down that low in Buenos Aires.
Well, it'll be about that temperature when they get to South Africa.
Adler. I don't know if it was a Samson-like moment when he got the haircut, but 5 minutes into the second half, Germany now trailing. Back for Romero, who was close to outstanding in the first half. Ball knotted inside, Adler out quickly.
Oh, Veron!
But Veron spots him off the line and then sends it a bit too high.
Unlucky though. Juan Sebastian Veron goes for gold in a nanosecond, controls it, beautiful, outside of the foot. That's a brilliant effort. Oh, it's not so far away. Superb from the Estudiantes man. Oh, what a goal that would have been. Better by Germany in the second half though. Certainly, Joachim Löw has obviously demanded way more than he was seeing in the first half. You heard it from this crowd. Certainly not good enough by Germany's usually imperious high standards of team football. There's nothing too much to like about it, let's be honest.
Otamendi and Jonás on this near side. That's where Germany's trying to probe for weakness.
Well played Mascherano earlier again.
Veron threads it through three defenders. That's the first time Messi's touched it in a while.
Messi's passes today not being as usual. There's a sharp, pinpoint, accurate.
Laid off. Messi stripped. Schweinsteiger.
Magic.
Can't hold on though. Oh. Messi back for Veron. Caressed. Headed by Jonás, and Higuaín cut off at the pass by Mertesacker. By the way, that's the one thing that we never really touched on, the brilliance of Di Maria's pass. The way he curled it around the big man at the back, right into the path of Higuaín. Mertesacker was in pretty good position.
Perfect ball, Phil, you're right. Wonderful fly's eye vision from Angel Di Maria. The most impressive part about it for me was the considerate touch and pace that he put on the ball over that sort of distance. Marvellous.
Ball to the shooting foot of Podolski, but look who it is. It's Gutiérrez sliding through. Out for corner number 3. Schweinsteiger plays it short. Podolski back. Schweini inside and off of Gutiérrez and out for a throw-in. Clemente Rodriguez coming in at that left back spot in place of the ailing Heinze. They haven't gone at him yet.
Oh.
Inside, and the header flipped up and over, maybe off a defender. Ballack saying it should be another corner, but maybe they'll call a foul inside anyway. Atkinson with some curious decisions here in the second half. Down is Demichelis.
Yep, somebody pushes Demichelis into a play, I believe, right here. Yep. Take a one to his face.
Ballack swinging through.
Take a look again. Just out of picture. No, he takes it. Yeah, right across his part of his head. Should be fine.
Demichelis didn't really look like he got hit that hard. Maybe caught him in the eye, or it also could be a chance for Argentina to regroup a bit.
He's in some distress. It's certainly way more than I initially thought, Phil.
He's wondering if he should make a switch.
A real clot on him. Didn't look too bad in that replay that we saw, but it's obviously misleading. He's certainly taking it.
And again, why risk it? They have Burdisso on the bench. Unless Ballack has the strongest pinky in the world.
Again. Certainly, Ballack, yes.
The arm coming back that seemed to catch him near the ear, but and I think they did call the foul. Atkinson has seen enough of Ballack in his days at Chelsea, and yeah, he did have that black eye before the match started.
Got a Ballack eye.
Maybe he wanted to give Demichelis a matching pair.
Well, certainly had his marbles jangled. Oh, there's the lack of German technology. Take a look from this angle, Phil. It's only his, it seems to be Ballack's wrist or his fingertips that just basically come across. But that is strange. It's got to have happened earlier, prior to that. It's based on that replay. This looks such an innocuous little flick.
Well, you'd figure if it was the hand going through the first time, he'd be grabbing one eye, not both. So I don't think that future as a boxer is going to go anywhere for Demichelis.
He's not one to come out of a battle either. Demichelis, tremendous player, of course, the ex-River man.
Argentina short-handed, at least for a few seconds. Is it Burdisso? It is.
Wow, super player coming in as well. Nicolás, wonderful player. We've been sorry not to be the first choice solid starter for Argentina.
He's the one that took the hit when Demichelis and Samuel both got the call in the starting lineup. Ball lifted through. Beautiful shield, but Gomez couldn't find the trigger. Burdisso, that somewhat controversial move to Roma in the past, but playing well. His 28th appearance. Higuaín tried to go around Tashi this time. Could not. They switch things up a bit. The soccer still on the far side. Lam, a risky move, and he pays the price as Jonás steals it away. Tashi picks up the ball, though. Here's Boateng. And this is the man who's disappeared for me, even more than Messi for Argentina. Messi Ozil.
Lovely touch. Veron.
Messi back for Clemente Rodriguez. A right back almost all the time. Maradona using him on the left, though.
You look at those star-studded players that Maradona selects as well, and a lot of people will be surprised at Jonás Gutiérrez, much more of a humble type of player, and much more athletic than the regular Argentina players. But Maradona sees him as a key component in his overall setup. He gives him such athleticism and direct play down this right side. He hasn't got the greatest of skills when you compare him to like Veron and Messi and Tevez, other players like Mascherano, and certainly not Angel Di Maria. But
of course, think back.
The Magpie lad's doing all right.
Different style of player, but similar. Keely Gonzalez, a player who was more of a worker.
Yeah, good point, Phil.
And he
good
made
comparison. It really is
a generation on that left flank.
Isn't that good balance? Solid.
On the turn.
Tackle.
Trying to pass it out wide. Tripped up Ozil, and they will call it.
Mascherano was called here. But take a look at it again. Take a look. It goes down from the side touches the ball away. You can see the change of direction in the ball, and he gets called for it from an English ref. Sees it week in, week out. He's saying he touched the ball away first before he got the player. Dangerous position here for Sergio Romero. It's going to be tested.
Don't forget Italy-Cameroon coming up immediately following this one, about a half hour from now. Özil and Ballack, they'll be the trigger for this free kick.
Take him something special from this angle and distance to beat this goalkeeper between Argentina sticks. Ooh.
They try a little trickery, but it's shut off at the pass. And now Argentina with a chance on the break. Regained. Lahm around Muller. Muller to Podolski instead. Back to Lahm. The Bayern back across the 6. Cleared away. Schweinsteiger. Can he drive it in? Podolski. Path was closed. And Mascherano all over him. I think he would have crawled in that nice jersey if he could have. Now, tackled by Tashi. Could have gone either way, and Argentina will get the throw. It looks like another sub getting set to come in.
Tevez about to enter for the great Diego. Maybe Tevez relieving either Messi or Higuaín.
Werder Bremen against Stuttgart on Saturday to start things out. We'll see Higuaín and Real Madrid, perhaps with Kaká's new team in the next year, Sevilla. That should be a good one. And a double dip from Colombia. Don't forget, Corinthians in action on Sunday, as well as Kiesling and Leverkusen taking on Nuremberg in the opener. GoalTV.tv, check it out.
Good ball from Mascherano to find Tapulga.
The flea is nipped by the German defense. Regained by Otamendi. Back for Veron. You could see that was a considerate pass. He knew he was going to be catching Di Maria by surprise a bit. So he put it into a position that he would be able to react to and no one else. Now across the middle for Mascherano. Back for Otamendi. Develis, Sarsfield, Phenom. Germany coming up higher. Otamendi gives it up. Podolski tries to shield but can't. And the foul again. The funny thing is if this was in England in the Premiership, half of these fouls probably would be called by Atkinson.
I wouldn't disagree with you there. Well, he did his damage. He wasn't wholly involved in the first half until he came out and sank his fangs in like Dracula and drew big blood. Wonderful goal by Gonzalo Higuaín. And here's another little terrorizer.
Carlos Tevez, a controversial absence from Man City. His wife giving birth prematurely, significantly prematurely. So City let him go home. He didn't want to come back, but the doctor finally said everything's okay. So what does he do? He promptly goes out and scores for City against Chelsea. Now trying to do the same for the Albiceleste. Look at that. And the dagger from Di Maria. Tevez. And Adler gets there first.
Well played by Tashi in the end. A little bit.
Tevez definitely gives you a different look, though. Long. To this point, Ray, 2/3 of the way through, I think on that little checklist that the coaches have, Maradona has more check marks on his by far. Löw has more question marks.
Sure.
Into the middle.
At least he's been marking it up against a very good team on this showing here tonight.
Trying up the cross inside. A little bit more movement from Germany, but still not much success.
Burdisso not taking any risks yet. But does well to sweep it back.
In-swinger. Thought about coming out, did Romero, but nowhere near a target. Considering the guys that are in there, Gomez and Podolski and the like, takes some doing by Özil to miss them all.
Well, here comes the Brazilian by his place of birth, but he's German through and through now. Look how he's been scoring good goals and playing extremely well. Just like a Brazilian to wreck Argentina's hopes, wouldn't it?
Well, was Podolski going to have to come out, or is that what they're doing? Or well, it looks like he will wait until after this restart. And they're going to say out for the corner. Schweinsteiger. And again, we have not seen much of Sergio Romero in an Argentine kit, but it doesn't look like he's going to be giving up those gloves anytime soon. He might be the most impressive person on the park, even including Di Maria. Tevez comes back. Apache trying to find a path through for Messi, but no. Geronimo Barreto Cacao. Didn't see much action in qualifying, just one game off the bench. Red hot for Stuttgart. They got off to a miserable start and now climbing close to Champions League spots. Here's Lahm. Schweinsteiger off balance cuts it back, and Jonas Gutiérrez there to pick it off. Messi. Oh. Look at Tashi though. And then he reaches forward thinking he's going to get the foul call, handles it, and the ball out of position from the foul. That should be a yellow, at least against Tashi. Good defense, but then he gets beaten to the inside. More switches. Cacao for Özil. Well, that means he'll be in a little bit more of a flank role at this point. He'll probably be twinned with Podolski around Gomez, although Kroos has come in as well. Kroos, the Bayern product, but finding his form elsewhere. Nice little move by Messi as he's starting to get more involved. Just got away from him. Close teammates with Kiesling at Leverkusen. Kiesling still on the bench. Hans-Dieter Flick, the assistant for Löw. They were in this arena just this past week as Bayern celebrated its 110th anniversary. It only seems that long since they've been atop the Bundesliga, but it was, what, a year and a half? May of 2008, the last time they led the Bundesliga. And now they finally do it again. Leverkusen catch up. That's still to be determined. But right now, Germany trying to catch up to Argentina. And if anything, it seems as though momentum going the other way. And another trip. This time it's Ballack taking down Messi.
Throughout this game, the only way to contain him from the Germans has been to do this. Intentional by Ballack. The gamesmanship, but been pulling at his shirts, clipping at his ankles all game long. That's all he can really do a lot of the times with Messi.
Gutierrez off the give and go. That's going to spin towards the net.
Oh, well played.
Jonás keeps it alive. Tashi just gets rid of it to Lahm in time. Panic on the back line for Germany.
And then played out of bounds. This crowd certainly have kept their patience with the Mannschaft as as well as I can remember, a team that's been playing really very subpar all game long. Talking about love in this stadium earlier in the week, celebrating, but it's got much to go to bed with tonight to really think about on a positive note, has he?
Messi trying to weave his way through.
This player in the ball being one of the best players of the team, and this has got to be a yellow card. Just as Philip Lamb's releasing the ball, the lunge in from, of all people, Lionel Messi. That's definitely decidedly naughty. Very unlike him. He felt he could get there earlier, but Philip Lam taking a nasty tackle.
Talk about Cacao, who just stepped onto the pitch, yet to see the ball. Back on the 20th of February against Cologne, he came into that match, Ray, with 3 goals all season long, scored 4. And in case you think that's a fluke, he then went and scored against Barcelona to tie the match in their Champions League tie, and then came back with 2 more, the only goals that they were able to score against Eintracht Frankfurt for another victory. So
statistically very impressive, but the quality of his goals shouldn't be overlooked either. There weren't tap-ins by Cacao. There were some absolutely breathtaking goals. And again, this crowd just in, well, I wouldn't say disbelief, but Van Gaal cannot believe that this is a German team that is one of the hot favourites to lift the World Cup. They've got some work to do. Good touch by Cacao.
A little tangle in the midfield for Bala. Mascherano whistled. Kroos. The strange thing is, when we take a look at some of these, we've seen it from Maradona today. Rodriguez by necessity playing on the left, but it was a decision to put Jonás on the right. And here we see Kroos playing on the right, and he's almost exclusively a left-sided midfielder. So Löw with a shake-up. Schweinsteiger passes out wide. Boateng inside. Kroos tries to flip it, but missed it, and it bounces to safety in Romero. Picked off in the back by Mertesacker. Knocked free from Kroos, tries to win it back, but can't. And Rodriguez, with that strong right foot, just blasts it upfield. And all the way back to Adler. There's Heinze. Still a popular man, although you wonder whether he will be a manager in Germany anytime soon. He said he doesn't want to manage in the Bundesliga anymore, but it's not as though he's returning too many phone calls elsewhere. Sloppy play by the front line, Gomez and Cacao. Of course, they should be used to each other. It was only a little over a year ago they were paired at Stuttgart. Burdisso. And now a chance. Gomez cuts back. Samuel just rides him off like a cowboy. Settled down by Schweinsteiger. Here's Lahm. A little bit more from Germany. Cacao trying to get free inside. Takes the shot but deflected. Gomez. Podolski back out wide. Jonás over on defense. Lahm to the middle. The header. And halfway through, Ballack seemed to switch from powering it to caressing it.
Better football by Germany. Good build-up. Cacao was nicely linked up, and this one comes to Michael, and really, it's a poor effort with his head. He could have dropped it onto his chest. He had the space, he had the time, and usually you can identify that extra luxury of having that around him, but he makes the wrong decision. Goes for the placement with his header. Best piece of football from Germany to open up Argentina. Jonás did his best to close the window, but couldn't.
Nice steal by Schweinsteiger, grabbing it away from Veron. Collision inside Burdisso. Cacao. Smart play out wide. Kroos smashes it to the middle. Burdisso steps up. Ballack picks it off. Deflected at the line, and Schweinsteiger sends it up and over the fence and into the stands.
Oh, Kakáo's had an instant impact on the Germany team, hasn't he? He's affected the midfield. The midfielders are starting to come into this game now with a big man leading him up with some energy and skill and poise. You read about it in the German papers tomorrow. This Kaká is going to be one of the boys that gets the top marks. I'll guarantee you that. Look at that touch.
A little harassment from Veron, and he's not happy with the call.
Good shielding. There's the strength again. Veron, tenacious as well as brilliantly skilled. Getting called back for that one. Germany coming on nicely now. Finally.
Lahm out wide. Sends it in for Ballack. And too hard on the cross all the way to the back post. There's Boateng. Left foot. And just too high on the return. Quarter hour left to go. So far, I would say that any reports of Argentina's demise as a world power were not only premature, they were just wrong. Well, the questions about Germany remain. Khedira coming in.
It's certainly not just about scorelines in games like this, Phil. It's the overall look of your team. It's the balance, and it's individuals playing off of each other and just hinting at better things to come. Despite the changes that have been made with the substitutions, certainly it's been an impressive performance by Argentina. I wouldn't say an altogether horrific one by Germany, but certainly a questionable one, and one that'll have the tongues wagging tomorrow.
Khedira, another Stuttgart player, 22 years of age. Came up as more of an attacking player, but he's kind of turned into a link man of late. Good ball. Nice ball inside. The back heel from Ballack. Nicely. Kaká had help. He doesn't need it, but he forces a brilliant stop by Romero out wide, and it's still in play.
Just again, echoing my words from earlier, a couple of minutes ago, Kaká instigates a certain uptick in complete complexion of form in every way in this German side.
Podolski half thought it would be offside, so goes in slow.
It just looked altogether different since he came in.
Lahm picks off the poor clearance. Back for Kaká. Brazilian looking for an opening, flips it through, trying to find Gomez, who has yet to find a shot. Out for Tevez. And what will they call? A hold and a free kick for Argentina. And there, take a look. Those were the types of shots, and even better, that gave him 7 goals in the past 8 days. But give credit to Romero. He read it well. Here's Tevez in the corner. Holds it well. Back for Messi. The slashing run might have been there. Mertesacker looks like he cut it off. Clemente Rodriguez on his weaker left foot. Mascherano and Veron, like central midfielders should. Back for Otamendi. And out it goes. Higuaín on what appeared to be pretty much just a garbage play. Argentina was just clearing the ball out of the danger zone, but it was the header to Mascherano and the vision of Di Maria. And Higuaín did the rest. Kaká taken down as Mascherano sends a message.
It's a good tackle. Kaká doesn't like it. There's nothing wrong with it, though.
Lahm gets it back. All the way for Tashi. Adler. Gomez. Kroos. Through for Kaká. He meant to return it for Gomez. Will try and keep it alive, but good work by Rodriguez. Mertesacker. Khedira. Boateng. Khedira. Boateng. Through Kroos. Poor clearance. Ballack. Oh, sweet touch, Kaká. little Brazilian
test of Argentina's defense now, because Germany certainly ratcheted it up. Oh, it's a great run.
Jonás tripped up by Lob.
That'll be a card.
Well, Demichelis and Samuel had already gotten cards, and now Lam joins the trio.
Kaká was complaining about that earlier tackle from Mascherano that he had to put up with, and seeing that Philipp Lahm's challenge there on Gutiérrez wasn't as bad. Let's take a look. Gutiérrez has passed him, certainly gets his legs taken. Philipp knew it. No complaints by him.
Clemente. They've tried to go at the former Boca man over the last couple of minutes, but he's responded well. In fact, Argentina as a whole has. I don't know if you can really say, even Messi might have been the weakest link today, just not getting involved, but in the second half he has.
But a quieter game for sure by his high standards.
I don't think there's been a bad performance by an Argentine player today.
All men across the back have been tremendous. The goalkeepers looked excellent. And Veron, Mascherano. Just on and on, like you say, Phil. Not many absolutely sparkling performances from Argentina, but it's been more of a team performance by his men. Always the ultimate individual, of course, but he's trying to mold his team around good, solid understanding, and then let the brilliance of the likes of Messi and Veron come out during the game. Nobody like that man, of course, never has been, never will be, in my opinion, the greatest footballer I ever saw.
And you played against Pelé.
Yeah, and I grew up idolising Pelé, Phil. Diego Maradona's had his mistakes and he's had his problems, no question of that. He's made some huge mistakes in his personal life, but as a player, there was no equal, no peer.
It appears as though he's matured a little late to the game, but seems to have his life back in order. In many ways, I think it was when the national team was pulled from him, or the threat of it being pulled from him as a player, and now the bookend where he steps back in as the manager, and he's back in control.
Well, sort of. He's still having some almighty battles with the Argentine press. They absolutely got the cloaks and daggers out for him, but it's mutual. He hates them, they hate him, but he doesn't give a damn. He says, we'll prove it in South Africa. You will believe me. We'll see.
What we've seen here today, whether he's tried 100 players or more,
right?
The talent is there in those 100 players. In all honesty, he doesn't need to get the press to believe him. He just needs to get 23 guys to believe it. Mascherano off target. Gets more of a slice on that, and he had 3 players charging in. Instead, it's Kaká the other way. Gomez. Kaká! I thought he was being too unselfish, but it was almost a masterpiece.
Starts it himself, pushes on, driving, tries to thread it through, gets played back by Super Mario, and it's definitely worth a pot shot. Now, Brazilians don't know how to say no to an invitation to strike a ball like that.
They might not have a chance, the likes of Argentina, before the World Cup, but I think Kaká might have put his hat in the ring for a starting spot over Podolski or Klose for the next game.
Certainly along with Gomez to make a good tandem on the evidence put out in this second half, Phil. Certainly those 2 players out there now, Kaká and Gomez, were far, far better and impressive than Klose and Podolski.
Here's Adler, and he completes one with his left. Tashi.
But credit the Argentine back line as well, man. I tell you, Samuel, Demichelis played so well together in that centre, and that early going, well played.
Inside Boateng. Bala keeps it going. Here's Sami Khedira. Lam, and they finally get the ball to Podolski. Takes a little nick as he rifles the shot towards goal. And it's Jonás again. You need players like that. It goes back to the maestros versus the piano movers, but he's got some maestro in him as well.
Well,
we haven't seen it today, though.
It's the pace and, you know, that extension of that wonderful athleticism that gives Argentina a different look down this right side with Gutiérrez.
What do you think that Love is calling for that he hasn't seen here? Gutiérrez stops and starts. Whistles from the stands, play on. Veron slides it through. Di Maria with a back heel to himself.
Wonderful football from the Tango man.
Doesn't have much help in the corner as he's brought down by Lam.
Wonderful verve about them. That beautiful football by Veron as well. Teasing, tantalizing, drawing gasps out of this crowd. But you see it all over the Argentine team, don't you?
55.
The Messis have got it, the Di Marias have got it, the Verons have got it, and yet they don't have a tenth of what that guy had.
$55 million buyout clause for Di Maria, but you can see why Chelsea might be willing to take the bite. Here's Veron. 5 minutes remain. Inside near post, and it's off the woodwork and back to safety of Adler. Almost buried by Burdisso at the near post.
Superb by Veron and great by Burdisso. Wonderful ball by Sebastian. That's unluckily not found.
Well, the sound might have been Burdisso kicking the post as the ball went through.
Well, the goalkeeper doesn't know anything about it, but give him credit, Rennie Adler. He spreads himself and he's in the right place at the right time. Wonderful ball again from Veron. And Burdisso as well, nicely attacking that ball.
And Veron, the old man, is going to play 90 minutes, it looks like. Podolski, Carrera's got the speed.
The ball
drops it to the spot.
Lucky.
Cut off by another one of the old guys, Samuel. Minutes without a goal for Podolski, and got to remember the last World Cup, Prince Poldi pretty much owned Germany, it seemed. Too far for Cacao, not far enough for Gomez. Romero out to midfield, regained by der Mannschaft. Cross, Boateng pushing higher and higher.
Well, as always, the Germans will always be fighting to the very last baby's breath. They're doing it again. Hasn't been a good performance from them. We all know that. We've seen it ourselves, but they're still dangerous, man.
Ballack and Mascherano and a little tango in the midfield. Kroos gets it back from Cacao. Tried to find Podolski.
Going to be a corner. Well played by Toni Kroos.
So now an in-swinger. Trying to tie the score. But Veron again. Got to give him credit for the defense that Veron has provided here today as much as the offense. Kroos cuts in front of Tevez. Now the boots come flashing, intentional or otherwise, a foul against Ballack.
Well, Ballack raises his foot very high. As the players coming through here.
And it was Otamendi in the middle of the park. It's matches like this that you can use as that yardstick. This is not June or July. A great performance by Argentina here today. Who's not going to win them anything, except maybe a few more believers.
Messi trying to get away with a little bit of the old Diego.
I think if Messi was standing on Tevez' back. They still not may be able to look Mertesacker in the eye. Ballack picks it off of Veron. Bends it into the top of the 18. Otamendi heads it clear. And right back to Brujita. Now Tevez. Tevez, he's got breakaway speed. Jonás, those long, loping strides. Let's see if he pulls out a trick. Plays it safe. And they'll just kill the clock a bit. 90th minute. Mascherano drops for Di Maria. Into the area. He's just challenging Boateng. Now Clemente Rodriguez. Messi weaves his way back. Almost hypnotizing the Germans. Time is not in their favor. And the German fans know it. Otamendi for Veron. Back for the youngster.
Great possession by Argentina, this.
Tevez. What was it, 35 passes for the goal of the tournament last time? Cambiaso. And now, I don't know if they're going to get a goal at the end of this one, but a great game of keep away.
Well, drawing the whistles and boos from the fans in admiration of this possession. Germany just chasing shadows.
Burdisso just blasts it upfield, and Jonás is there on the other end. Finally, they get a touch, but it's Lam giving it right back to Jonás. You can hear the whistles from the Germans, a few olés from the Albiceleste fans. Rodriguez to Samuel. All the way back for Burdisso. Bends that forward. Lam picks it off. Otamendi tries to knock it free. Now Khedira. Can't be much time added on. Maybe 2 minutes. This is the type of game, though, you wish there was another 90 at the end of it. Boateng up the line for Kroos. He doesn't have breakaway speed, though. Out it goes. Atkinson says, hold on, as one more switch will be Mario Bolatti. And it's for Veron. Giving Brujita the hero's exit.
He had a smashing game, the little witch. He's voted the best player in the Libertadores. And you can see why. He's got the most sublime touch and the most wonderful vision. And he is Diego's playmaker, no question about it.
Ball launched in. Bolatti, midfielder out of Fiorentina, midfielder of a different cloth. Ex-Belgrano man. Kroos, he's got a good serve. What can he do with it here, though? Even Adler is up. Bending it in, you can't get it over Jonás. You're not going to score. Boateng with the mishit. Cleared by Clemente, and now a chance on the break as Tevez pushes it down. Lam with the speed, passes it back, and they even had Adler retreating quickly. Gomez appeared to be handcuffed. Play on. Rodriguez sends it high in the air. All eyes and ears on Martin Atkinson, but nothing yet. Khedira tracks it. I think one thing Loeb would like to see would be intensity like this in the first 90 rather than an extra time. Ballack forgot something along the way. Di Maria, Messi, Gutiérrez. Di Maria with him, he'll drop it instead. Messi, Gutiérrez, out for Di Maria, and into the corner he'll go. Whistles again from the crowd, not from Atkinson. Cacao can't control, just kicks it out for the throw. And now Argentina will debate who should take it. Loeb still has some work to do. I think some of the answers, though, came in the second half without a goal. Well, Cacao and Gomez, but not enough.
This crowd is telling them just what they think of a far better understanding from Diego Maradona's Argentina. Rakim Love. It's got a lot to do, as you say, Phil. There was signs of real unity in Diego's men and real brilliance. A fair scoreline, it's got to be said. Germany brave in the second half, not good enough.
next. Italy versus Cameroon, 4:45 p.m. Eastern, 1:45 Pacific. On Goal TV.